Hello everyone! In this video I want to show you guys how to make just a real simple wire wrapped ring. The materials that I'm using today are 20 gauge parawire. I'm using about 12 inches of it. And you can tweak the size, give or take a little bit depending on the size that you're making. I'm making like a size 12. And I'll just have maybe an inch or two of scrap left over. And then some 8mm beads in your choice of material. These are these really pretty, just kind of cat's eye, shimmery beads. And what we're going to do is we will just thread on our bead onto the wire. I guess I should also mention that before I get too ahead of myself, you'll need a ring mandrel or something roughly finger shaped to shape your wire around. I really enjoy using the ring mandrels with a groove in it because it lets the bead kind of nestle down into it while I'm wrapping. Also, some either bent nose or chain nose pliers and some wire snips will come in really handy. So now we've got our bead strung down to where it's in the center of the wire, and I'm going to line my bead up on my mandrel at about a size 12 or wherever you would like, and I'm going to wrap one wire around and the other wire around, being careful to not cross them. I want to keep a nice flat wire. And so here you can see I just have it going each way. I'm going to kind of pinch down with my fingernails to get a nice little bend going on there. And this helps in one of the future steps. And so now I'm going to take this wire and just shape it around our bead like that, and continue to kind of loosely bend. Grabbing by the end of the wire as opposed to up close helps give it a more natural and gradual curve. And you can do however many rotations around the bead as you would like. I'm going to do one more. So, I mean, you could do just a single rotation if you really wanted a nice, like, minimal wire wrapping effect. And then I'm going to pull this off of my mandrel and set that off to the side. And so now here you can see I'm going to brace it with my thumb and finger. And I kind of bent that so it would fit through. And I'm going to pull nice and tight to get this wrapped around the band of the ring. And just a third rotation. I do recommend wrapping at least 3 times. You could, if you feel inclined, wrap all the way around and then bind the ends off, but I'm just going to do 3 rotations because with the way I've got kind of chubby fingers, so I really don't like a whole lot of ring band going on, especially since I spend so much time with my hands bent. I don't want a whole lot of wide wire right there, whereas if I have a nice thin but durable ring band, it's very unobstructive, unobtrusive, I don't know, words. Words are so difficult. So there's my second rotation, and there's my third, just around like that. And now you'll notice I have my wire kind of protruding off to each side, as opposed to going straight up. So I'm going to snip with the wire traveling off in that direction. And I'm going to trim on both sides. My wire snips are pretty dull on the tip. Like, I don't know if you can see. They're all kinds of notched up. It's time to get a new pair. And now I'm going to use my pliers to cinch and press down that loose end. And you can test with your finger, be real sure that there's no snaggy bits. And I'm just using my wires, or my pliers, to pinch the wires down nice and snug. Now you can put it back on your ring mandrel for some final shaping. And I think that looks pretty sharp, you guys. That's just a nice, easy little project. And you can use this to build just an array of designs off of. You could give yourself a much longer piece of tail to work with and do some spirals or different things like that. You could coil all the wire first and get a really cool effect that way. But if you just want something nice and simple, I think this is a great place to start. And also for the other artisans out there who make a living similar to how I do, selling your creations, a tip that I like to give folks that we utilize in our booth is whenever you're making a design, try making it in a bunch of different metal tones. Some folks might like the bare copper best. Other folks might like the vintage bronze best. And, so that way it's kind of a little bit of a way of mass producing handmade things, but it can really help just cast a broader net into your potential audience at a craft show or other vending event. And also it helps too that whenever, if you have during the busy season like a couple of shows back to back, you won't be completely out of a design. So somebody could see, let's say this one with the purple cat's eye and hematite, they could see that and be like, oh, I really like that, but man, I sure wish I had it, like I could get it in silver. And if the silver one's already sold, you could say, well, good for you, we do custom work. Give me, a couple of minutes and let me throw one together in your size. And customers just love that, and I love that because, especially as a picky shopper, I really, if I find something that I love, but there's just that one little thing, it really makes it kind of difficult. Also, there's ways that after the ring has been made, you can go through and resize it. Now this one I could take and stretch a little bit by forcing it down on the mandrel, but if that happens, you're gonna start running into, see how those wires are starting to come in like that? Now that's not the same ring that the person wanted. So if that happens, you can kind of push the wires back together and get it to come down. But this is why I make a lot of my rings on the larger side, because it's much, much easier to size the ring down. And the way I do that, oops, gravity, is I split the wires of the band and I insert my pliers like this and then just twist, and then I come around to the other side, grip the wire and twist, and that's the opposite wire. So that effectively shrunk both wires, and now I can reinsert the ring mandrel. I have a bunch of these, like I never leave home without it, so that way I always can resize rings for people. And that effectively sized it down from a 12 to a 6.5, just like that. And that's still quite comfortable to wear. And from here, you can take it and conveniently stretch it back out to, let's leave this one at a size 10. And you can see how that stretched it out on the side a bit. Well, I can just take it now, insert my pliers right there, and pinch it down, and then pinch it down. And this adds a really cute little spiral. And I usually like to keep one modified ring in stock at all times. That way I can check with the client to make sure that they won't mind that little design there on the sides, because I can always, instead of doing this, I can always wrap another one, typically. But most folks don't mind a bit having that extra little bit of squiggle going on. just like that. Just a cute little wire wrapped ring. So I really hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. If you found it helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Let your friends know. And if you're interested in supporting my free tutorials and all the different work that we do here at Back to Earth, please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. For just $1 a month, you put your name in the hat to win one of our hand-sculpted fairy houses, or homes for the gnomeless, as I like to call them. This one is what the winner for January 2017 will win, but I'm doing a fresh house every month. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments or ideas, please feel free to send me a message. I hope y'all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys around. Bye.